because we worked together in university originally, and we wanted to work together since then. Yeah. And it wasn't until 2015 that we were actually able to do that. So
we graduated from university in 2005, so we spent like 10 years working in different areas and doing different things and working for different, like in different cities and different places. But we were always still talking about having this idea of having our own studio. So yeah, it was like 10 years later that we kind of figured out that we both just left the jobs we were in, and just decided that it was like time to do it. So.
Yeah, and it came about because Kate had come across the Riso printer in London when she lived there, and came home and was like, this is cool kind of printer, and maybe we should get one for whatever we're doing in our studio, because we didn't have a big plan then. So we looked at the printer and did lots of research on, getting one and the expense of it, and if you could get them in Ireland, which you couldn't. So that was kind of the first thing we did, was figure out how to get the printer and use that as a starting point.
There are a lot of design studios in Dublin, and there's a really nice kind of design scene, and we were kind of thinking about where, like, how do we position ourselves within, like, in among those studios, and we'd seen in other cities, and a lot, like, there's those in the UK that are doing, like, that have the Riso printer, and we were kind of looking at that as a kind of a nice way to sort of find a unique spot in the design scene, in that, like, we share the printer with other designers and illustrators and artists and things, and we've gotten to know lots of people within the community through the printer. So yeah, we were kind of using it as a unique kind of selling point of the studio.
And yeah, the kind of the way the studio was formed has been quite organic. We'd say like we never really had a definite.
We still don't really have a business plan.
Yeah.
And we kind of just take each. It's kind of a space for experimenting in terms of just even being more in control of like the type of jobs you take on and the way we work, in that like it's only us, so we don't really necessarily have to answer to other people in terms of like just being able to do our own thing. So I think that's what we both enjoy about it, really. Mm-hmm. In the UK, there's Risotto in Glasgow and Hatto in London, that they would have been a big influence in terms of just knowing that it was possible to be a design studio and a print studio. We're not at the same scale as them on any like at this stage now, but it's still it's kind of just really interesting to have those to kind of look at their kind of business model and just be inspired by that in terms of knowing that it can be a success. Yeah. I think we have like a lot of inspiration in terms of like for design inspiration, and just generally like there's a lot of studios around locally here. Like there's a studio upstairs, there's a studio around the corner that we'd be good friends with, that they would inspire us on a daily, more local level, in just terms of just having a nice
how to run the business as well.
Just having a nice community around you, that can be quite
it's good support as well, because sometimes you're like, you meet them and you're like, oh, we've had a terrible week, and everyone's kind of giving out. It sounds negative, but you might have some kind of good feedback on how to do something differently, or how to deal with a client, or share. Everyone's happy to share their knowledge and studio running and that kind of thing.
So we call ourselves designers, and we happen to have this printer as a way of creating designs, but we wouldn't, at this stage, we wouldn't really, like, I don't know what we might do in the future, but just right now, like, we don't sell prints as prints. It's like, we're not making, like, we wouldn't really call ourselves printmakers, but we'd be designers who are using print as a process in terms of achieving the design. Because it may even be that like we print using the printer and then scanning them in, and might like add those effects or textures or things to a digital outcome and stuff. It's part of the process. Yeah, I think a big part of it is us sharing the printer with people. Yeah. So if it was just us sitting in here producing work, not like just producing prints like that, basically it isn't that. It's an alternative version to that. It is very much about, we really enjoy doing the workshops, and we really enjoy even like helping other people achieve their goals through the printer. Yeah, being able to kind of print for them with a designer's eye as well, and just in terms of knowing like, okay, no, they're not going to be happy with this, we think maybe we could adjust this, or like you could do, like just having that sort of input into helping other people achieve something kind of cool is quite fun.
The printers kind of brought us on this path. Like, you know, we got it and we could just have it and keep it to ourselves, you know, that way. But we never really wanted to do that. And then because, you know, we started doing small workshops, and then the more you do those, the more people hear about them. And then, you know, we went and did the summer school, and that was like traveling with the printer. And then since we did that, we got asked to do more of those off-site workshops. And just like, you know, 2 years ago, we may not have actually seen ourselves doing those. We'd be like, well, like, you know, maybe we'd never be able to do that. But yeah, everything has kind of just happened.
It's just growing.
Yeah. I don't know if the printer defines Or Studio, but you know, it's definitely one of the members.
Yeah, it's the third member of the studio. We chose the name Or as this kind of like open-ended, it's a word that's in the middle of a sentence, but that anything can come after it in a way. So we were even thinking of just like, or like we would like to produce books, publish books, and it could be Or Press, or it's Or Studio, or it's Or Print. So there's lots of
or
options,
drawing, or making, or you know, anything really, because we do kind of like to try and do. Ideally, we do every single part of a project. We like to like make things and experiment in that way as well. So.